One last drink and I'll be gone. Make it count with the flash on. Never really felt like I belong, so I'll be on my way and I won't be long. I'll be dead by dawn. I'll be dead by dawn. I'll be dead by dawn. I'll be dead by dawn.
Scrolling through my texts, shit I left unread.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Hello again. It is Thursday night, March 28th, 2024. People in the boxes once again. 8 o'clock Central Time. We got 2 minutes till the 7:10. I might actually try out this little cart I have here, a Pac-Man hybrid cart. Have you seen the Pac-Man cart? Look at this bad boy. Guys, if you could, we gotta. Well, I'll get into it in a second here. This little cart. It's a weird looking cart. Anyway, guys, private property. There's a man recently. Right down. I got it. Philip O'Keefe, age 62, from Australia. Guys, the first man with a implant. I believe it's Neuralink. He's a paraplegic, and he was able to make a tweet with his thoughts. That was just recently. Leaves a big question about our intellectual property, our thoughts, our private thoughts. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into possibly, Kim had brought up how the laws are different everywhere, and that's true. So I think knowing your local laws is a big thing, but I want to hear some stories from you guys, and I'm going to put up the link to see if anybody wants to come up. But we want to get into your stories of what you've gone through, where you've had issues where, it's your property, but somehow it was able to be taken from you. We've seen it recently where, actually it was a couple of years ago, an older lady, I think she was an elderly lady who actually had a permit, a weapon, a handgun that was permitted, but she happened to go past the border into, I think, Jersey. I'll have to look up the story, but a cop pulled her over. Instead of, like a few hundred meters or a mile away from her, the border where she's legal, instead of just driving her, turning around and having her follow him and back across the border, she put this lady away for life. This lady's going to jail for life. And then more recently, we've actually had a lady that had some squatters pop up in her house, and she called the police on the squatters, and she was arrested because the squatters had some false paperwork that didn't matter. The cops didn't care. Okay, they're working here. Okay, they're workers. So they literally arrested the lady who owned the home. And further after that case, there were some local residents who took up some vigilante action against these guys. They didn't go and hurt them. They just went into the house. A bunch of guys went to this house and said, you better leave. And these guys just, we're out of here. We're out of here. These squatters. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into it, guys. Before we do, though, please hit that like button, share the show with your friends. It's important to try to have these conversations, even if we don't, figure anything out. We don't solve any problems. I think we always learn. It's something, we get something out of it. So we got Jason from the 42710 family. What's up, bro? You already got that nice blunt going on. Cheers, and cheers, everyone.
Always. It's very often that you see me without one in my hand. So it's not very often at all.
That is true. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. March is a tough mental health month for me. I've had a lot of deaths in the family in March. A lot of significant deaths for major people that meant a lot to me, friend-wise too. So March is a pretty hard mental health month. Trying to get through it. Got a couple days left, but we're getting there.
You got a little bit of static. Let me see if I can fix it by toggling your toggles and then toggling them back. All right, we'll see if that works. We got Kim Axel from the Legit Bean Review Remastered. What's up, girl? How you doing? How's the shoulder?
Well, I kind of re-injured it on Monday. I've been over to wipe some liquid off the floor, and
I know how you feel. You
it hurt. I cannot tell you how badly it hurt. So,
like a 10.
Oh yeah, probably like more like a 50. It was like a bolt of lightning. I think it pinched a nerve, because the next day it hurt, because all the stuff that they did was up here in the top part of my shoulder, and whatever it was, like, it activated my tennis elbow, and I felt pain all the way down to the top part of my thumb. It was just like a steady line. So
I actually had Dr. Olson on We Grow Wednesday last night, and he was telling me about what a pinched nerve is like, and I think I have the same thing from what you were just describing as well. So yeah, it kind of sucks, guys. He was this is a kind of a side note. So Jason, we were in the middle of talking. I was in the middle of talking to Dr. Olson. We were talking for almost an hour, no problem, and I had just started to bring up asking him what his thoughts are on more natural herbal remedies, not necessarily just cannabis, but more natural ways of doing things versus all of the more branded, company, what's the other word, incorporated like brands and logos and pharmaceuticals and stuff. And we were just about to get his opinion, and boom, his video got cut out. And then he tried to get back on. I said, well, if you just leave and try to come back. He said Google took over his computer. I don't know what that means exactly, but he actually legitimately thinks it could have been some kind of a censoring. So it's interesting, but yeah, you guys can go check it out yourselves. But yeah, let's get it going. Please, let's see if anybody wants to come up and talk about tonight's subject. Please let us know. We want to. That's what People in the Box is about. I guess we've argued with all the people that used to come up and they don't want to come back. Now, some people, it's hard for them to have these, and that's what the point of this show is because it's hard. It's not because, hey, this is an easy, fun thing to do. Let's just bullshit for 2 hours. No, we try to get into it a little bit, and we're not, like I said, we're not, researchers, and we're not going to give you a bunch of, we're gonna try to look up some facts, of course, but the show's about our experiences, and I think we've all experienced situations where it's a he said, she said, especially when the police are involved. Oh yeah, well that's mine. Well yeah, well he took it from me, and then I got the paper, I got the receipt, and then it becomes a battle, and then forget kids. I know kids aren't private property, but that's a kind of a similar thing. If you have kids, you feel like they're yours, but there's two parents, and then if they don't agree, the kids get split, right? That's a different. I just thought of that one. I don't know if it's exactly a related, but similar. But this guy with the thoughts, though, that's intense. He's able to play chess with his thoughts, and he sent a tweet. As soon as those systems are able to write information to our brains, that's when it's just it's already insane. But what do you think? Your thoughts won't be private. You won't even be able to have a private thought. What's up, Timothy? I see you over on the Rumble with Margaret. Cheers, everybody.
Well, as much as people blow their mouths nowadays, it's like they're already
true. We did kind of give it up as we started getting into social media, putting all of our business out there, right? And then you basically give enough information that people could kind of fabricate anything about you almost. And that was one reason I started doing more and more shows, because if you're on the air for hours a day, people get a real feel for who you are. And if there's some like hit piece made about you with just that kind of footage, all the people who are really watching us on a daily basis, those people know, oh, that's somebody, some BS. That's kind of the only defense you have nowadays, is like being a little bit more public about things.
Well, I don't know, because they're starting to use AI to imitate people. There's this I played Candy Crush on my phone, and you get these ads, and there was this ad for some game, some gaming thing or something, and it had oh my god, what's that rapper? He's the one.
Wicked.
No, he's the one, the big mean looking one.
Wow.
I don't know who it is.
Wow, Kim.
Oh my god.
I might have to plug this in, actually. I think I'll just do a regular dab.
He was on he played in a bunch of movies. He was in and his son looks just like him. I can't think of his name. Anyway, so he was on there. He was in that video on this ad, and it was and I think like Snoop Dogg was on there, and I was like, how the hell can they afford these two big name rappers to be on this stupid dinky little? And then, they started coming out with, how AI was being used to imitate people. So I guess it was AI. But
yeah, they do.
It was really good renditions of them.
I know that they've been doing that before AI too. I mean, they just take pictures and they can, superimpose them on top of, anything really. And I saw that in Iraq when we saw Arnold Schwarzenegger's face superimposed all over the boxes of these like electric antennas. I guess if he was endorsing them,
Yeah, but this wasn't superimposing. This was actually AI, and it's really, I could tell because like I'm, kind of trained in looking at media pretty critically, just through a lot of the classes that I took. So I could tell it was like, I would look at them and I'd be like, that's not quite, how did they, it just made me wonder how they did it. And then it busted out, not long after that the whole AI thing. But it's scary because like you have to be careful. You have to be careful with answering phone calls that you don't know, because they take snippets of your voice and then they use AI to call like your family and say and do these things where they say that you've been kidnapped and they start demanding a bunch of money.
I don't know how we get around something like that. Our voices are just, I mean, we use our voices for a lot of things, like what are we gonna, like we can't really, there might be technology that sort of keeps combating it. There are, for instance, for AI, there are things that you can put a video through as like an AI checker to find out. And I don't know how good it is or not good it is, but there's hopefully there will be, combating or
a way to
help. Yeah.
Well, I know that with education that they have they have certain tools that you can use, that teachers have, that they can use to, like look up essays and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's crazy. We live in a crazy world, and for everything that's good, there's that yin and yang,
Yeah. That's why I keep telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, like there's no secret white hats that are wiping out evil. Like, I'm sorry. There's no, like, you cannot wipe out evil. Like, you may be able to sort of have the upper hand back and forth. There's like, we had that period after World War II where there was, it was kind of relative prosperity in the US, but that doesn't mean it was like that all over the world during that time. We got to realize like there is a balance for the whole planet. And I think we got really lulled into a false sense of security for a long time. And what we find now, and we've seen this before, is that we trade security for freedom. one of those those are two opposite ends of the same coin, and you can't have like that. You can't have them both, kind of.
Well, and it doesn't help that you have two opposing sides that use fear mongering to do all of that.
Well, right. I mean, that, and it could be the two heads of the same snake, we've talked about before. And that's what we're finding out now, where, and a lot of millennials, not millennials, Generation Z, what do they call them?
Yeah.
Zillennials. They're fed up, and they're getting upset about it too, but with this whole thing. And we can get into it, but we don't want to dip in there too heavy. But the immigration issue, where and I can find the video where there was a guy, I believe from El Salvador or some another country, that was putting out a video. It's on Twitter, where he's explaining to everyone how you can come and steal homes. And that leads me to the biggest story that I'm thinking of, is where the lady literally gets arrested in her own home for squatters taking over her home. And there are a lot of states that have squatters' rights in different variations. And so back to the Zillennials, they are getting upset because they can't afford to live. They can't afford to have their own place. But yet in places like New York, they're taking and they're putting up people who are not here legally in hotels, thousands and thousands of dollars, of spending, a lot of money on people that, our youth is kind of being left hanging out to dry. And it's really sad because, without private property, we are not us. The United States, in my opinion, private property laws are basically what set us apart from the rest of the world. That is why a lot of countries and a lot of companies want to do business here. That's a ton of the reason why you have companies wanting to do business in America rather than somewhere else, because they have what we had was private property laws that were solid and could be enforced. We were enforcing them, and now that's out the window, man. New York, it's going to be, you're going to see it they're just going to be floating out like they already were. It's crazy. That's my opinion. Anyway.
What do you mean floating
Brandon,
now?
come on up. All the businesses are already leaving. They're all trying to, get out of New York. And a lot of, like, have you seen Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank? He's been putting up a stink. He's not a Trump supporter, but he's been bitching about how they are doing this like unlawful, just right out, just like mafia style stuff in New York, which I guess was stopped in some way recently. I think, I forget how. We have to look it up, but yeah, just insane. Like, just these kind of no trial. Just we just need. Like when they went with Alex Jones, like him, don't like him. They literally tried to get the GDP of France from him. Like these just insane, like our laws and our what do you call them? Our judicial system. Anyway, they just are taking these overreaches, and it's I don't know. Do you think we have laws anymore? Is it just whatever they feel like enforcing? Jason, what's up? You got thoughts? I know you do. I'm going to do a dab here while I try to shut up from you guys. Those are my thoughts. They might be intense for some people, but let's hear it.
I think we're living at an unprecedented time where I think that we're watching our government, our country be destroyed right in front of us.
Yes, I agree, but I also take a little bit of solace in the fact that it seems like a natural process. Over time, I don't know any country, like take China for example. China was even had that, the color revolution, and they had where the communists took over and stuff, which means like they had a pretty big change in their country, not that long ago. And so I feel like it's just a thing that happens. A few hundred years is all you can get really from before everybody just smells the stink of the cheese, like that's really all you have is the people's trust in the system. Once that's gone, it's gone. You're going to have cops show up at your house and you're like, I don't trust that. That's not I don't recognize that badge. I don't recognize. And no offense to police. I put in the description about how police are just, they're no longer protecting and serving. They are now just there to do their job, which is their job is to satisfy their superiors. And if their superiors are running for office or doing something where they just want, whatever to happen, then that's what's going to happen from the low end. And it's sad. They're getting rid of all the good cops that were maybe good in the first place. And they're bringing in all these people that will just do what they're told. I'm just doing my job. Well, I've heard some opinions. I don't know what you guys think, but police that are doing unlawful things and they say, I'm just doing my job, they should be held accountable too. Even the person doing the act. I don't care if your boss told you to do it. Quit. Oh, my family, my money. That's our problem, is everybody's like livelihood is tied up into things. And then we're able to sort of grab them by the balls and say, if you don't, your social credit score, your not just police, but like all of us, we have that sort of social credit now that if you get on the outs, boom, you get banned from Twitter and Facebook, then you can't really talk to many people anymore. You're like, wow, shit, where's everybody?
Yeah.
It's pretty messed up. I don't know. I know I'm all over the place here, but it all kind of converges on, do we think we have actual private property more? People, what's that new phrase? It's like, it's not private property, you're just renting it.
Well, you continually pay taxes on it, so do you really ever own it?
Yeah.
And if you don't pay your taxes, you lose your property. So like, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I mean about security and safety, though. So imagine, 100 years from now, we're able to go and colonize, rocks and things out in the middle of nowhere. Like, okay, this is my rock. This is my asteroid. That's where I'm going to stay, And then you eventually would still have to find, you still have to work with other people, and there'd still have to be commerce, and there'd have to be laws, even in a spread out type of way, like the Wild West, for instance. We lost Jason.
Yeah.
Guys, anybody else? Does anybody want to come up, guys? Thursday night. It's for anybody. If you want to come up just to shoot the shit for a minute, this is
Somebody's asking for the blue link to be put up.
I'm putting it in my page, Wayland Indoor Farmer. Oh, they're looking for a different link. They're that person's looking for the link. You have to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Just type that in on your website or your thing.
Well,
Cheers.
StreamYard and Facebook are having a hard time, because when I logged in tonight to StreamYard, it had like a blurb at the top that said that they're experiencing issues. So
yeah, I saw that. If you're having issues on Facebook, go jump on Rumble, guys. So Dolores has a question. Do homeless in the woods in America have squatters' rights? Depends on what woods. Depends on the woods. Can you hear me now? Yes.
Okay. I didn't realize that I got a phone call, and somewhere along the lines I had lost sound. So you couldn't hear what I was saying.
You're a little staticky. Let me just redo your buttons.
Can you hear me now?
Smashly, yeah, it sounds good. Smashly in the house. What's up?
What's up, Ashley? As far as I know, homeless people do not have squatters' rights in the woods, because the woods are either owned by somebody or they are state owned. So
yeah, that's the only thing. Like, unless you were to go, I guess find an island that's unowned, or build an island, have an island built.
Because even on public land, you can't build anything. We've come across that with some of these content creators that have decided to go live off in the woods and stuff. They had to actually buy their land or rent their land from somebody. They made them tear the stuff down.
I know somebody that was just camping out in the woods recently, and Not sure how that's going for him, but I do wish him luck.
Well, my angle on this, when I seen what we were going to do, my thing went to photography, photographs, security cameras, um, privacy rights, privacy fences, private property, because, yeah, you know what? My house is private property, but my neighbor across the street has 7 security cameras hooked up all over his house. I guarantee you it sees my house and sees what's going on, who's coming in and out of my house, maybe what's going on in my backyard.
Well, you got Google, not just Google Maps, but what's it called?
Or Google Earth and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
So where do my privacy rights end and begin? Because it's my private property, yes. But what I do on my property is determined by the government, for one, the homeowners association. If we live in a certain area, the homeowners association, private property rights. Yes, I rent, but if I rent from a landlord, what are the landlord rights? It's actually his property. I just am squatting.
You're just paying.
So our rights, I mean, we're supposed to be the land of the free, but we're only free to be able to pay taxes and go to work every day.
I mean, I will say I think we are still, just for layman's terms, we're still the best place to be. I think, unless you have a little bit of adventurousness in you and you want to go move to like Argentina or something. I don't know. There's not a lot of places in the world I'd rather be. Even though we have a lot of issues, that's why we should be talking about them, right? That's what we're doing, and I think the people that just never think about these issues, and then it comes up in their life, like, oh no, like it's a much bigger surprise when you're like you don't have to think conspiratorially to be prepared for yourself, especially if you're a homeowner or if you're a law abiding gun owner. Things like that, things that you do not want to get mixed up with in a legal battle. So always.
Well, I know here in the state of Michigan, see, you mentioned gun owner. If criminal breaks into your house and you shoot that criminal with an illegal gun, you better pray to God that he dies inside your house and doesn't fall out the window and die outside. If he dies outside of your house, you will be charged with murder. If he dies inside of your house, you're protecting your home.
Yeah, like knowing those castle laws and things like that. Mm-hmm. Now, even so with this case, the lady with the squatters, she supposedly there are ways that she could have gone about it differently, but it was actually, no matter which way you look at it, it was some shady dealings where she would have had to also fabricate some sort of a receipt saying, look, these are workers in my house, and then like to go up against their fabricated things saying that they rented this house or they bought it or whatever. Like it's all these like fakeness going back and forth that you can't just say, this is my house and look at the lease. Here's the not the lease, but the mortgage, the deed. And it's like, that was just insane to me that she got one, and it took some neighborhood people to come through.
What did she get arrested for?
So
disorderly conduct?
No, let me look it up to be specific here.
Because you got a title to the house, you got a lot of stuff that proves that you own the house. When you rent the house,
that's what I'm saying.
There's all types of stuff that still needs to be shown that you are legally renting this house and all of that.
That is not necessarily the case.
I guess there are the handshake agreements still.
It depends on the state that you live in and all kinds of stuff, because I had a friend of mine living with me briefly while he was going through kind of a divorce. Well, it wasn't a divorce. He broke up with his baby mama of 16 years. But so he was staying at my house. He was renting my room for $200 a month. He wasn't.
So that was a handshake agreement, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he started doing some shady shit in my house. He was about to move anyway because his apartment, like, it was just like 3 days before his apartment, and I kicked his ass out. But he already was staying with his girlfriend that he'd already made, and it was a crazy thing. It's like, I can't believe I got mixed up in all that shit. But he started like he called the cops because I kicked him out. I took all of his shit and I set all of his shit that he had in my house outside. And he called the cops and he tried to make a big stink and whatever. And
Okay.
but he had rights, and like, had he wanted to pursue it, I would have had to let him back in my house because that was his domicile at the time.
Nathaniel, actually, I wanted to bring that up at some point. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah.
And the cops are usually like, don't know, don't care. You know, they don't, they're not there to like just rescue every person. They're there to just diffuse the case and move on. You know, and that's not necessarily good or bad. You want them to be on your side, but that's not necessarily always a good idea either. We got Wes in the background. What's up, Wes? So let's play this quick video. We'll play it low key here. Wes, you're a little lower key than I wanted you to be here.
I'm always a little guy, man. Always a little guy. It's okay.
That's all right. We're gonna fix it. I had this idea of putting us in like a rearranging the order to where it was like not even. We'll check it out. But anyway, so this video by I'll give you his name in a second. Benny something. I forget. I don't watch him or anything on a regular basis, but he does put it together pretty well on the situation with this lady anyway. We'll just watch it real fast. All right, after I make Wes a little bigger. There we go.
We say it again and again and again. Get out of blue states. Get out of blue cities. They've gone insane.
Of course, he's anti-Democrat. Let's get past that. Okay, here we go.
House had squatters in it, and she got arrested for trying to kick the squatters out. Watch.
The home her parents left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it.
No, he left it.
But she's been locked out. She claimed squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave. She didn't just find her belongings.
It's not her house anymore.
The house is for sale is where they, yeah, that's where they, I think that's where they got her, is because she had the house up for sale. Yep. And they could make fake papers to say they purchased the house. So, and the police don't have the ability to look at paperwork and say, oh, well, this is a forgery. This is not. And so she probably got it straightened up down the road. But I mean, I don't know. Like, once they've lived there long enough, that's the other thing, is that the squatters' laws a lot of times they're different, obviously, but they're different amounts of time. If you've been there for so long, then you are allowed to stay, like 30 days, 90 days. There's different lengths of time. And there is another video I'll pull up here in a minute.
I believe in the state of Michigan, it's a piece of mail. Your mailing address has to be registered there, and you have to be registered on your license that you live there.
This squatting shit's fucking just getting too crazy.
It's getting out of control.
It's straight be illegal. I mean, you can't go sit at a gas station and not buy anything. I mean, it's the same situation right there. Loitering is squatting. It's the same damn thing. And you could just be like, no, I identify as a squatter. And maybe they just have to leave you there.
You know what? I would look at you and give you more respect if you said I'm homeless, and you know what? Okay, I'll go. Yeah. I thought the place was vacant. I broke in. It's cold outside. You know,
right.
I'd give you more respect to saying that. than fucking you sneaking in and being, oh, nope, I'm squatting. I ain't leaving. I ain't doing, nope, you got to get me evicted.
This is mine now.
Yeah, no.
Gimme.
So I found a picture of the guy. I want to find this video.
Oh, man. I was trying to play Minecraft. My damn PlayStation just shut off.
I can see my comment. Yay, about time. Good, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
A lot of people can see him. A lot of people can't. I don't know what's been going on with him.
There's a problem with StreamYard and Facebook.
StreamYard and Facebook, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It said to the blurb that I saw when I logged in, it said something about backing out and trying to come back in.
Well, I heard that if they don't make a deal by April 4th, then you won't be able to do StreamYard with Facebook anymore.
That what it said exactly was that they will not be able to. You won't be able to go live onto groups inside of Facebook. That
don't make sense.
That's what I mean. I read it and then, like, that's what it said. I'm like, that seems kind of oddly specific, but hey.
So that's all they're trying to make a deal on?
I would have to look at something else to be sure, but the thing I saw, yes, that's what I saw. Mm-hmm. Is this a video here? So there's a couple of videos. One here from the New York Post that I want to play. Guys, I will start doing the wheel. If you hit the like button and share us out, we'll get you on a wheel. Eight likes, 27 people in the house. Let's hit that like button.
And you know what? When did squatting become a thing?
I don't know.
If you would have done that back in the day, you would have got your ass beat.
That's what I was just thinking, man.
Ass beat. And in certain cities, they still ain't gonna deal with it.
Right.
Like, you squatting in the hood, and they gonna be, I don't know, maybe it's just me.
That's where the vigilante comes in. That's what there's been a bunch of cases lately where people are taking justice into their own hands. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it is a sign of breakdown. It is a sign that our laws don't mean anything anymore. It's not good. Now you take this guy, for example. This is his latest video, where his first video was, and there was a subtitles where it was he was explaining to people how to steal homes. And then this video is where he's an influencer, they say, waves around cash as he mocks U.S. taxpayers who work like slaves, in quotes, after he urges fellow illegals to become squatters in U.S. homes. They're like teaching people how to do it, and we don't need to play the video. That's literally what he's doing without playing it. But it is kind of insane, though, that you have people still want to come here, and it's more or less not because they want to be like us. It's because they want to extract from us. Yes. You might think there's probably some people out there in the world that have a good heart and want to be here, but that doesn't account for all of what's happening right now. And even Democrats are calling this an invasion in our borders and stuff. Everyone on both sides is starting to say this. And
even if 25% of good-hearted, it's still too many.
I don't disagree with shutting down the borders.
Oh, the danky.
I don't disagree with that. Because if you come in the legal way, you're cool. Come in the legal way. That's all that matters. And shutting down the borders doesn't mean nobody can come in and out. That's not what that means.
Right,
that means we're not being flooded in. It's not being flooded out. Plain and simple. That's all that is.
Well, a lot of the problem is that the people that are coming in over our borders here in Mexico are not even Mexican citizens. They shouldn't come in.
Yeah, it's not anything about
they invaded Mexico, and Mexico's not stopping them.
Yeah, and there's like 150 different countries that they're finding. It's not like it's some kind of
Yep.
and that's why
Just-
you as soon as somebody wants to argue with you and they want to pick out a specific country, and then that's the whole argument is, oh well, you hate that country. It's like, well, hold on, what about the other 149 countries? Like, you can't say that anymore.
Fill out the paperwork and do it legally, because I know over 10 people, 2 handfuls I know of friends that live here locally that did it legally, and it took them years. It was hard. It cost a little bit of money. It took them years, but they did it legally. And
My
hey,
stepmom's from Russia.
you know, right? It's do it legally, and we're cool. That's all I'm about with that.
I'm not completely cool with some of these people that are coming in here, though, because some of the people that are coming here are coming from countries that do not have democratic traditions, and
Well,
there's
yeah,
a lot of them, and they're not necessarily, they aren't coming here and conforming to the American way. They're bringing their ways with them, and they're not
Okay.
democratic. And I have a problem with that because it weakens the American culture.
But in today's society, what is the real American culture or the
We don't have a
American way?
fucking
It's being
American
taken over. We used to.
Yeah, we're turning into a socialist country because we have for many, many years, decades, been allowing people that come from socialist, communistic, whatever countries
Mm-hmm.
in here, and it's slowly eroding the American culture. It's
Well, the worst part about that is they're
You're on
getting
there, Perry.
seats in the houses and stuff. Like they're getting the say, and that's not right. It's not right for us.
So
People-
I want to push back a little bit because
I want to know, do you think that the testing system is failing us, Kim, on letting, the immigrant testing system? Like, because you say you don't want certain ones here. How do they determine who to let in and who not to?
I think that we're letting way too many people in from countries that I'm not saying not to let anybody in.
Okay.
I'm saying that we let way too many people in. And I think that we need to slow that way back.
I do know other countries don't allow it. Other countries don't allow, you
Canada
have to
don't.
get temporary visas and stuff like that.
Hungary closed their
so-
borders from all immigration.
Yep.
It's
Like Australia. They are a big one. Like, you have to have a job or a form of trade or something that you're bringing into the country
You got to be useful.
to be able to become a citizen. And even then, you might not get citizenship, but you can get work shit.
and that makes sense to me. I think we could let more people in on work visas. And to your point, Kim, let me push back a little bit. I don't want to say I don't want to be upset at anyone for their reason to come here, even if they don't ever want to be American at all. What we should be upset with is our bureaucracy not holding up our end, because if they did, and if like, for instance, Trump did actually slow down a lot of the influx on the border just from a couple of policy changes, showing a little bit of force. And if we were able to rely on our government enough to say slow down the illegal traffic, then that means the people coming here legally would be forced more or less to go through the process, which would make them know our Constitution. It would open their minds a little bit to our ways, like you were saying, is what they're missing and everything. So it really all still falls back on us as our country being not enforcing that whole policy, like Jason was saying with Australia, where we want people to come here that are going to be of some kind of productive to our society, and not only productive but conform to our laws and ways. And we haven't been holding that up. We just kind of let everybody do everything, whatever.
I cry balderdash to that, and here's why. We have one of the greatest teachers in history, which is the Roman Empire. And one of the things that weakened the Roman Empire was the fact that they were allowing the Goths, or those different Germanic tribes, had infiltrated the country, and they were fighting as Roman soldiers or whatever. And I'm just telling you, you cannot have a large mass of people who are not committed to the principles of whatever your government is, that just don't have those traditions. Because
Yeah, but our government's letting them in, though.
well, yes,
literally
they
busting
are, and they have been for a very long time.
Yeah, but in much higher numbers, like increasingly
Oh,
higher
yeah,
numbers.
but it's been slowly trickling in here for a long, long time.
I agree.
And,
but they literally went and stopped Texas from putting up the fence, and they literally went in with government soldiers, employees, and took a bulldozer and re-broke the fence at the point where they were trying to fix it or putting it up. Whatever.
To me.
They literally have video of this. Like they come back in and destroy it. They took it down.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. I was super surprised. I served in the military at a time when we were still in a Cold War with Russia. Okay, I came in towards the tail end of all of that. And, after all of that stuff happened with Gorbachev and Reagan and tear down these walls, and there were a lot of changes in the Soviet Union fell apart, all of that stuff. We had a large amount of people from that region of the world who don't have American traditions. They come from, they're very war torn for centuries kind of people.
Eat or be eaten kind of thing. Yeah. Survival of the fittest.
And a lot of them immigrated here. And if you go to California, I lived out in California and I was super surprised. And they majority of them live in communities that are nothing but people from whatever, Russia or the Ukraine or, those countries over there that were formerly Soviet Union.
We had large influxes of other places at other times.
Yes, and we've had a large influx of Chinese people and whatnot. But I'm just saying the Mexicans or the people from South America are not the only ones. They're just the ones right now. And they're the ones getting it. Because let me tell you, I have lived on this border almost my entire life, with the exception of about maybe 12 years. I have lived in this area nearly 60 years, or I don't know, however old I am, minus 12. Okay, so 50 years I've lived here. And this area has picked on the Mexicans. And
to be fair, it's partially their fault, because they are allowing this to happen. The cartels are busing people up to the border.
They don't have that country's out of control. Like
if you don't think the cartels could stop that with the force they use anywhere else, they could. They're making money. It's a money thing.
The Mexican government does not have the power to stop the cartels.
Right.
They have kind of a symbiotic relationship, and there is no way to stop it.
Okay, so I'm just saying they have some blame in this.
Well, they do have a lot of blame in this, but it doesn't matter. You can point fingers at whoever you want to. The fact of the matter is that American policies prior to about 10 years ago, American policies in helping fund the Mexican government to control that shit kept a lot of that out. And I personally believe that there are some kind of elements that are pushing these people to our borders. And I personally believe that it has a dark ulterior motive to break our government, because that's exactly
it's just one thing to do it. Yeah, there's multiple sort of vectors that's being done. But yeah, there's a lot of vested interest in sort of busting us down, I think, in some way.
Yeah, the Russians proved it whenever, with our election with Trump, with all that crappy media that they were putting out everywhere. That's why Facebook and Twitter and everybody's so controlled now, is because there was all this fake crap that was being put out there.
Yeah, Russia spent a couple $1,000s on ads. It was more about Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. They are the ones that actually do a lot of the propaganda that change elections. They even put it out there in some stories where all they have to do literally is the day of the election is send a notification out to one side and not the other side, and boom, you lost 60% of people that would even go and see it. They've tested this. It's being done here more so than they did find that Russia was like a couple $1,000s in memes throughout that.
Yeah, but it wasn't just a couple. It wasn't just the memes, man. It took on a life of its own.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. There's a lot of factors that drive all of this stuff, and you know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. Like all of that stuff is hogwash to me because I'm a very fact-driven person. And so I want to see you, if you're going to put something out there, it's like, I want to see the connection. I want to see it connected to fact instead of just a bunch of hocus pocus ideas. Ideas are great and everything, but back it with fact. Otherwise I don't want to hear it. Cause then it's like, I'm wasting my brain power on something that may or may not be. It's kind of like he said, she said, and I don't like that stuff. It just doesn't compute with me. It's not efficient.
Sometimes a thought experiment's not bad. Like I like to think about the future, and you can't, you know, all you can do is sort of extrapolate from the information that you have. And
well, and I'm not saying that it doesn't have some kind of value, because it does, you know. I mean, creativity. As
long as you keep it open and not say, well, this is what's going to happen because of like made up information. No, like
no, but the thing is that you have a lot of people that are undereducated that grab onto those ideas and they don't go seeking the truth. They just grab onto those ideas because, oh yeah, it fits my narrative or it fits my angst in life or, you know, whatever emotional thing.
If you
grab onto it, and it drives a lot of ugliness in society, you know. So
yeah, well, but I mean, by that regard, you could say, and a lot of satire is taken the wrong way and stuff, and so we should just not be, you know, a lot of humor is sarcastic, and people will listen, and some people just take things too literal.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that we have a lot of angst in society, and we have a lot of very undereducated people out there. We have, you know, one of the biggest complaints in education when it comes to social studies education, which is what, you know, I'm a social studies teacher, and social studies education has sucked in this country probably since I was in high school. You know, you have, you know, a lot of the people that teach social studies education are coaches. And I don't know what you guys' experiences in high school were, but a lot of them, the coaches, you walk in class and it's on the board. You're going to silently read to yourself, chapter, segment, whatever, and you're going to answer the questions at the end. And that was the education. There was no discussion. There was no problem solving. There was no critical thinking. It was just sit down, shut up, and do your work. And so as a result of that, you know, we just have a lot of people that don't understand history, the implications of history. And we have a lot of people that are not properly taught government, taught about democracy, taught about American government, the history of American government and all of that stuff. So they don't necessarily understand it. They're not taught economics. You know, a lot of states don't mandate, you know, education in economics. I don't even, you know, I'm a special ed teacher, so I don't even touch economics because just by nature of, you know, the population in my class, you know, like I can't teach a full curriculum.
That's screwy.
You know, so you just have we have people in this country that just are very impoverished in their education, especially in social studies. And I feel like that's really hindered people's ability to think critically about our government, you know, to truly understand our government and how it's supposed to work and to think critically about it. And then you have people that just, you know, they drink the Kool-Aid of whoever comes along because these fucking
handouts, freebies, yeah.
Well, they hand out freebies. They hand whatever Kool-Aid they feed to people. They feed their fears. They feed their insecurities. They feed their greed.
They were giving out free like cheeseburgers and French fries to voters and stuff in some inner cities and stuff. I remember that one, the last presidential election, and it was like oh yeah, so you're giving out like poison in order to get people to come in. But anyway, I'd like to veer it towards the because you make some good points about the uneducated masses, and that directly connects to private property, not knowing your rights. And I heard something recently about private property specifically is how it's not a God-given right. And that is an interesting thought, because I enjoy the fact that the Bill of Rights is basically, you could think of it as a God-given thing, or you could also think of it as rights that you would have if you were all by yourself on a deserted island. If you were alone on a deserted island, you would still have all the same rights in the Bill of Rights. And that to me is like how you explain like a God-given right or nature's law, right? But then property rights is a different thing. It's like that's a privilege, right? Like
it is. Private property is a privilege.
We don't realize how we have to be able to defend it. Basically, it eventually comes down to what you can defend. Like,
it's how much space you can defend. I had a situation here at my house that I'm currently renting. I had to move last summer because the house that I was previously living in sold. And so when I sold the house, when I left the other house and I moved to this house, I put in the paperwork to transfer my water, sewer, gas, trash bill. And somewhere in the shuffle of me sending in my application for all of that, they never turned off the utilities at the other house.
Oh, nice.
Exactly. And so they came to my house one day and they shut my utilities off. So I didn't have any water, sewer, gas, whatever, right? Or did they actually? Yeah, I think they shut them off for a few days until I got it straightened out. But it was because they were holding me accountable for that bill. And I was like, first of all, how am I supposed to survive? It's wintertime here. This was just last winter and it was cold here. It got down into the teens. And I said, how am I supposed to survive modern times like this without water or gas or sewer for that matter?
Yeah, because we don't have things set up that way. People think, oh, it's good just because we're primped or we're privileged, but no, it's because we don't all have chimneys. We don't all have like a space that we've got set up to like go chop wood. Like we don't have.
We don't live like we did 100 years ago. We don't have, and those are basic survival rights. Those are basic, like the basic things that you need to live.
Right. Food, water, and heat. Yeah.
And I got pissed and I chewed the supervisor out and I said, you know what? I'm going to go to my city council and I'm going to start complaining. And I said, I'm going to take this as high as I can because these are
right now.
Basic rights. These are basic necessities to live. I said, I can't eat. I can't prepare food. I have no access to water. It's not like I could go dig a well like they did 100 years ago. It's our society's set up like that.
Things would change rapidly. I mean, we probably could get back to some of that, I guess, but that's only
that's why I'm about sustainable living. I'm very much a libertarian in a lot of ways.
Ding, 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 ding. So, guys, real quick, let's get this rocking, guys. Let's see. First of all, anybody that wants to come up, let me know if you want the link. I put the link out by accident on all platforms. So, well, at least on Twitch and YouTube. So we might get an interesting friend in the back here soon. But otherwise, we got several giveaways to get going. I'd like to see us rocking this house. Like and share the video. Let me know you did. I'll put you on the wheel. But we're also hoping to get quite a bit more likes. I don't know if we'll get to that Ohio's friendly 420, 100 likes range, but we'll try to. Maybe we'll get more than we got. Can we get more than 16? Maybe would be amazing. But yeah, if you guys, let's weigh in. I mean, obviously we have some strong opinions, but I'm always interested to have my mind changed. Cheers, cheers, everyone. You guys got to help me here. You guys are supposed to talk while I'm dabbing, so I don't have to.
I didn't realize I was muted. Sorry.
You're just hitting 0 over there, bud.
I didn't realize I was muted.
Wasted that.
I don't know. It's the private property thing. It's one of them things that it's different in every state, every city. A lot of people believe that they can do certain things on their property that they probably really can't.
Yeah, that's the other thing is not knowing, like putting up a fence, having a garden, a lot of little things that you may not actually be able to do.
Yep. Even though you own it, you still gotta fucking do all this other shit. Jump through hoops, like Ashley said earlier. Literally jump through hoops.
Well, just like these hoops for the giveaway, you guys, we got a danky doozy coming from Margaret, and I was thinking of giving out another little pack with a rolling tray and whatever else I can stuff in there. But you just have to, get a little bit of participation. I was hoping we'd get more people to talk about it, but I guess,
Tough subject.
Maybe. I mean, everybody's had situations where, they've had something stolen or, maybe, and most people have thoughts on this whole Neuralink thing. Like, would you volunteer if you were told that you could, you could scroll on Facebook without even looking at your phone? Or
there's people that would jump to that because they're lazy or they're like infected with technology.
The convenience or the technology addiction.
I think if I could have full control over it, I might be able to. If you could do all that, I think you should be able to control your pain or anything else in your nervous system.
Ooh, that's
like there could be that possibility, or just like there's always a 50-50 with it, I guess. I mean, it could be extremely positive, but it could also be extremely negative. This really depends on the person that is getting it, I guess, or what the whole reasoning behind it is. Like, for instance, people with MS or MD. Like my family, I have 7 uncles, and 6 of them are in a wheelchair, and have been almost their entire life because of muscular dystrophy. Well, if one of my uncles could have that chip in his brain, maybe it would make his life a hell of a lot easier.
I mean, I see the benefit, but every technology has going to get will 100% will get like misused somehow.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. The onset of this is there's a yin and there's a yang. It's just like I don't know. I don't know if you were alive back then, but when they cloned Dolly, remember the sheep Dolly when they cloned her?
Oh yeah, Dolly.
It wasn't that long ago.
So I remember when they did that, it was like all the the Christian community like freaked out, and I had reservations about it. I was pretty young whenever all that, but I had reservations about it because it's like it just doesn't seem natural. I don't know. It just seemed like it was not a good idea, but
so like
it's led to a lot of stuff that's really good. So I mean, I don't know. You got to take
clone you. Is that private property? Your DNA? I wonder.
Our DNA.
You think so?
Not once you publish it, it's not private.
If you let somebody take it, then it's no longer really private.
You don't have a choice.
Well, I mean, you have a choice for like you can refuse it if somebody tries to take your blood.
Oh no, I'm talking about like if you do ancestry and stuff like that. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
They sell that, or I
well,
don't want to sell it, but it's available. there have been court cases on that where the police have gone in and gotten DNA. That's how they found that serial killer that he lived in the same community that I did at the same time. He hadn't been actively killing people for a long time, but they traced him. They got his DNA. I don't remember exactly the details of it, but
Was that the trucker?
no.
The trucker? No.
No, it was a guy. He was in Citrus Heights, California, which is where I live. And I remember when that broke because I still lived in California. It was right before I moved back home to New Mexico. But they had matched. So it was somebody, I can't remember what the details of it were. They got a hold of his DNA, but they got it like third party. And then they went to Ancestry or whatever company it was to like, and you know, they were able to obtain it legally, and then they busted it. It had been a cold case for a long while, but yeah. But that opened the door because I'm really big in all of that. I like to, you know, I'm a history person. So like my family history, like I've traced it, like my DNA's out there. They could access it if they wanted to.
There was that time that we found that president's DNA, I believe, at the laundromat.
Huh?
Oh, wow.
What are you talking about?
Never mind, Kim. One day when you're old enough, I'll explain it to you.
Dude, I'm like 300 years old.
Oh, come on. I was talking about the dress, you know?
Oh.
Cheers.
That wasn't at a laundromat. That was a dry cleaner.
Cheers. I am going to have to get out of here, guys. I got a doctor's appointment at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to get out of here. Say good night to everybody. Love you guys, and have a wonderful evening.
Hope your appointment goes well.
I'm moving my arm pretty good, so hopefully it'll be all right. So, all right,
good
guys.
night, brother.
Night.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
I don't know. I just, you know, as a woman, they freaking like I'm a Christian, and I can't even have kids anymore. I had a complete hysterectomy, so like all that material got taken out a long time ago. But I probably would not have an abortion. But if I decided that's what I needed to do, it's not between me.
Whoa. That's a different conversation.
No, it's not. It's privacy, dude.
Abortion is privacy?
You're damn straight. It's my body. What the fuck?
Well, okay. So as a Christian, you think that baby inside of you is your body, okay?
It is. An infant cannot survive outside of the womb.
Some can. A lot of them can actually that get aborted. What do you mean? That has nothing to do with abortion. Plenty of them get aborted way past the point where they could be like.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But, well, then take that baby and raise it.
Okay.
You know, everybody gripes and complains about it, but here we have all of these.
It's not about complain. It's about whether you think it's you or another person inside of you. That's the issue.
Well, it's not viable outside of me past, before a certain point.
What's the certain point? Viable when?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a medical person. But
problem.
But there is a certain point where it's not viable.
We just don't know.
But I don't believe but even as a Christian, it's like that's between me and God. It's not between me and you or me and my government or me and anybody else. My decisions that I make.
The government should be out of it altogether.
Well, anybody should be out of it. It's my decision. It's my body, my choice.
Yeah, I mean it's about the culture though. Whether we the things that we as a society want to promote and demote. And we've gotten a lot of different messages nowadays where you can go you can go anywhere and find the whatever it is that you want to find. It's kind of crazy. You can find groups of people almost for almost any idea that will welcome you, explaining how you're totally correct on it. That's really crazy too. My point is, whether or not you take my opinion on anything and apply it to your life, it shouldn't be offensive for me to say my opinion on that subject. So if like, it's kind of like when you see people post something that's like, oh yeah, they did this and this and this, and if you're taking offense to this, that means that it probably has something to do with you, or to that effect. Like it probably if you take offense to this post, it's probably because you're one of the culprits, or you are guilty of doing this, right? So for me, I'm not telling you to change your mind, and you're right. Yeah, no one should be involved in that besides you and God, and and that's all. That's fine in my opinion. But I think we do use a lot of tax dollars to try to sway people's minds on it, and I think that should be taken out of it.
Yeah,
we should be able to have discussions on it, but we shouldn't be like finding that hundreds of millions of our dollars are being given to one side or the other of that issue, because that's such a divisive issue in the country.
Yeah.
I just don't see that the government should be part of it at all. Honestly, that's just my thinking of it.
Well, but a lot of people use their government. That's just people using their government too at the same time. But still, it's like, that's my right to privacy.
Adrian, I don't know. It's
the same with birth control and stuff like that. Like there's a large contingent in this country that's against birth control. And it's like, if that's
finding out it's pretty bad for you. I mean, besides the fact that of what you're talking about, they're finding out there's a lot of health ramifications that birth control is actually really bad for women.
Well, I had to take birth control for many, many years because I had problems with my reproductive system. That's what caused me to have my hysterectomy. And I will tell you that birth control controlled that.
Right. It can control then that's one of the benefits. That's one of the things. But recently they've come out, and I can't cite it.
Well, there's things with it. It messes with your blood pressure. You can get blood clots.
Your mood, your sex drive, all those things.
Yeah, there's like a lot of negatives because it's hormone manipulation.
And you pee a lot of it right back out into the water system. And so that actually is a private property. I know it's kind of a stretch here, but we affect each other around each other, right? We like Jason was saying, how his neighbors got cameras and pointed, and I'm sure they're pointed at his house. It's really weird to think of things as private property anymore because of how connected we are. Like, think of our water supply. We all contribute to the nastiness in the water supply. We all also use the water supply. Like it's one of those like communal things, even though this might be my private water supply here inside my house, but everybody's got a little bit of something going in there. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy.
Well, the thing that people forget is that
endometriosis, Ashley. Okay.
The thing that people forget is that, we have a right, but we also have a responsibility, because everybody has rights, and where my rights end where somebody else's begins.
Well, that's like someone had said, who was that? Was that Perry? Someone said, move out to the country where it's still free. So yeah, in that instance, yes. So to your point, Kim, if you want to live where a lot of people are at, you want to be in the hustling, bustling, city, moving and shaking, then you got a responsibility to each other. Out in the country, you might have a bit of a responsibility. Obviously you still do, but I guess it's different. You could be more or less left alone for the most part. You might have your neighbors, sheep or cattle get into your pasture or something like that at some point or whatever. Unless you are like more of a public person out in the country, having events and, having people there, whatever it is. So I could see that being a nice, more secluded place where you can have less responsibility to your neighbors. But to back to Kim's point, like, yeah, you got like neighborhoods where, the houses are so close, like you kind of need to know each other. You kind of have to work together in a lot of ways. Different things happen, like storms and, like my elderly neighbor fell once and I ran actually a couple times. I've gone over there to help him up and, I've mowed their grass. I've done different things. And the other side, I got a great family that's, they got a bunch of fish aquariums and stuff, and they do some similar things to me. And it's like just knowing your neighbors, knowing your neighborhood and your community, getting back to that sense of community, I think. Because I feel like that's a broader sense of the private property. When you think of, okay, this is mine. Well, your community is kind of the same thing. Like that's who would band together and like disasters and major issues nearby. Like you're going to be your neighborhood. Like that's your community, right? Even if you think you don't know anybody in your neighborhood, like those are your people.
Yeah.
What's up, Jenny? Guys, if you could hit that like button and share us out, and we'll put you on this wheel. We're going to give away a game night ticket and also a Danky doozy for Margaret. And who knows, if we get up to this get up there a little bit more, we might do some more giveaways. I got a couple other things in mind. Might give away some cash. I don't know. I'm actually going to save that for locals members. Here's what I think I'm going to do on game night, by the way. Probably not going to play game night this week. But instead of doing a live where we're live on game night, I might just make a post on game nights on a Sunday. I make a post about game night. This is like the title and everything. And just everybody that is a paying supporter will go in on that post and comment on the post. Because I don't know if it's really necessary to be streaming the video there. I don't know if anybody's actually going back to watch it from locals. You don't really need to if it's streamed everywhere else. And that would also free up a bunch of extra like private streams I could do. I could do private streams on locals just when I'm like working around in the garden, playing with my plants, naked plants. I could do some, they call it pludes. Have you heard of pludes, Kim?
I have not. What's that?
Pludes. They're plant nudes. You get nude taken with you and your plants.
Well, they have Naked Gardening Day. That's a thing.
Oh, that's a day? Oh, okay. I knew some people like that was just their thing. So
they have Naked Gardening Day, and there's people that do naked gardening. I've seen that. I mean, I haven't like.
Well, you get more clicks and views that way. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's.
Dolores likes the idea. She said.
I'm not down for that shit. I'm a very private person.
Peace, Jenny. Are you leaving? She said, "What's up in peace? We'll have a good day or night." Yeah, been a slow week this week. But I tell you what, I enjoy doing the shows that I do. It does get me down a little bit, and I realize that that's just something that happens. Like even on the big scale, like this guy named Hassan Piker, I think his name is. He's some influencer, some streamer, and he was like bitching and complaining that only 13,000 people saw his video or whatever, and like a bunch of people commented like, "I'd love to have that many,"
Right.
Well, I realize that no matter what level you're at, that you will feel like there's a day when like, what happened? Only half of my people showed up that day, whatever it is, and I not that I feel like that today, but it's just something that you go through at whatever level. So to Tim Pool's point, what he had said earlier that I was watching, he said, you just have to remember that like you have to do something that's worth doing. You have some kind of substance, right? Like we're doing this for a reason. This show has a lot of purpose. It also is something that I enjoy because I really enjoy these conversations, even though we get off topic sometimes, but I also enjoy kind of connecting things that may not be as obvious to the topic. And that's always fun for me, like creating different connections back to the topic from off topic subjects. But you guys, I know a lot of you that come and watch every week that enjoy these conversations too. I want to remind everybody to give us ideas. If you think there's some subject out there that we didn't cover or that you missed or whatever, let me know. And you guys can always send me a DM when it comes to that. Oh, you're not leaving, Jenny? She just said peace. Well, peace to you. Peace be with you, Jenny from the block.
Yeah, I want to bring up something.
Okay.
When I lived
girl.
when I lived out in California, there was this horrible accident on the freeway in the Bay Area. I want to say I can't remember if it was like Oakland or if it was in San Francisco, but it was over in that area somewhere. And there was a semi truck driver had a crash, and it burnt the highway so bad that it closed it down. Like, it was really a bad crash. And the guy had previously had some violations, but like he had taken care of the violations and he had been good with whatever, for a long period of time. And then he has the misfortune to have this accident. And I think it ended up being truly an accident that wasn't like, he wasn't negligent or something like that. But I remember when that all happened, and I sat there and I watched that, and I just watched how they drug that guy publicly in California, where there's, I think it's the biggest state. They have the biggest population in the entire United States, where they just drug this guy through his name through the mud for a long period of time, for like a month or more, until it was found out that it really wasn't like he wasn't being negligent or whatever. And I just thought, wow, just to be like a normal citizen, just out there doing your thing, and you have the misfortune of having something happen like that, and suddenly you're thrust into the spotlight and you're just stripped of your privacy.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is that there's really no, like, defamation laws are really, really difficult to get around, especially if you're a public person.
Yeah.
If you're a public person, like, people can just talk shit about you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, for myself, like, I know this is coming.
But he wasn't a public person. He was just some dude out there living his life, doing his job.
Well, then it becomes a matter of the regular person just doesn't have the money to go after the lawsuit. Yeah. And try to get their name. And even then, when you have someone, when you sue somebody for defamation, that doesn't necessarily mean that your name is going to be cleared from all the people that already have it in their head. And that's one of the problems right now with some of the police out there that don't really care about what laws whether they're doing something just or not, or whatever it is. They're just, it is what it is. So there's people out there that have threatened violence but not got in trouble for it. Other people that haven't, but then got in trouble for it, like Enrico and Tario, or I forget how his name is said, the leader of the Proud Boys. He wasn't even at the Capitol, and he's going to jail for 22 years or something like that. Just stuff where, like, they are just overreaching, and it's really obvious, and a lot of people are seeing it. Even people on both sides now are like, wait, what? Like, with property values, with the whole with Trump's values. But now you have Jon Stewart in the news, that he's got to backtrack and defend himself, because people found that he basically did the same thing, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, it's okay for me, but not for thee, basically. So we're gonna see real quick if our if things can come back the other way a little bit, as far as some of the courts are actually wisening up as far as they are making a little bit better rulings. I think some of that's happening now. Our court system goes, man, like you just better, better watch out, I guess. But that's why I'd like to have some land out in the country, with a nice big fence around it.
Well, there have been times when I've felt like I needed to go buy some land out in the middle of the nowhere and build a bunker.
Yeah, I'd like to have like 3 layers of basement. Cheers, everybody. Wait, I almost forgot my lid. What's up, Alan? I'll get you in a second, brother. So what do we think about this? The fact that a company, a shipping company, private company for all we know, has access to a port where there is a bridge that literally has no protection at all from the pylons. And you have this shipping container ship that is so heavy that all it needs to do is bump into it, and take out the entire bridge and also take out that entire port for temporarily.
Well, I think that's an infrastructure problem personally. I don't,
Yeah.
That bridge was built back in the 70s where, I don't know, things were were less complicated back then. We're busier and more complicated and stuff like that. But, we have a lot of bridges because it was brought up after that. That there's a lot of bridges out there just like that. And it's a disaster waiting to happen. That was just a travesty. Thank God it happened at, 1:30 in the morning.
They're privately owned roadways. But my angle with this is like, you have this intersection between private property and public property, like with our cars. Everyone owns, like if you own your car, it's your private property. But it's also you out here, Wes? Oh, I see. It's also the fact that like you have to use that to drive around and interact with other people. Hello. Wes has this entire Bible study group over there, and I think they're all they're about to sing some hymns for us, guys. We're going to do a little intermission any moment. Him and his friend, the fourth Hanson, they don't talk about much.
Kid's a nerd.
Hitting the nerve.
That's my boy, my oldest. You couldn't tell.
Well, look, man, I'm almost there, man. I'm going to be the 5th. Like, it might not, you can't see it with this green screen, but man, like, this is the longest I've ever had my hair, you guys.
You hippie.
This is crazy.
Pretty soon you're going to be like Mel Gibson in the Braveheart.
Freedom. Oh,
They may take our land, and they may flog our women and children, but they'll never take our internet. Oh. They may plug us into their machines and put us in pods and make us eat bugs. You will eat the bugs and you will love them. Yes. I'm right up the street from that bridge. Troy says, well, bro, I'm happy that you are here and okay. Our hearts go out to the construction crew family. I believe there were at least 6 people that have been killed from this.
Yeah. They found 2 alive. They found 1 dead. There's still 6 missing, I think.
Yeah.
And I think only 2 of them survived is what I've heard, I think. I don't know the latest. I do know that they were saying tonight on the news that they believe that the remaining bodies are probably crushed under the rubble somewhere. And from
I
the
mean, yeah, there's no
concrete and stuff.
there's no like possibility of like a pocket of air being created in there somewhere.
Mm-mm.
Like it's underwater.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
or they're crushed under the stuff in the ship, or I don't know. There's no way that they could have survived in that cold water. Hypothermia after a certain time would have killed them anyway. But
it's something that I never thought of with a bridge, and I think a lot of people are in this position where we did not think about a bridge being something that can take out a port, take out the waterway under it, at least even temporarily for it's probably a few months at least. I'm guessing.
oh no, they're saying that it's going to be 2 years before that bridge, before they have whatever. I don't know if it'll be 2 years before they can use the port, but
That's what I mean. Like they'll probably be at least a small channel for
yeah,
what do you call it, a Coast Guard and such, at least for municipal reasons and military reasons. You have this port where it's at the same time that we have incredible unrest around the world in three pretty key areas that we don't necessarily need to get into, but the fact that all of this is happening and that a lot of people are pointing to, you said you didn't want to talk, you didn't take note in conspiracy theories, but honestly, the term conspiracy theory is actually just a way to discount somebody when they have a thought on what might be going on in a situation or whatever, because conspiracies are a very true thing, a very real thing that happen a lot. But right now, without knowing any more evidence, we don't know yet, but a lot of people are saying, and we can say that at least that there is a strong theory that it could have been a cyber attack. And that leads us into the private property situation where we all are online. We all have what we think is a private property or private information on apps and websites and things like that. And it's just not. I mean, there's just these cyber attacks could get worse. And we're seeing issues with Facebook. And it's like every time I see this stuff happening on Facebook, I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, everything's just going to get shut down on us and we're just not going to have any internet. And, something like that can happen. And it worries me,
From my understanding, because I was watching it, I watched the Today Show every morning, and of course that was like breaking news.
Today Show.
Yeah, I like to watch it.
All right.
It's a tradition that I've had, but anyway, but it was breaking like news, like right at the top of the broadcast, and I remember they were talking about that they noticed, like the people that do the Today Show, that they were talking about that they could see that the lights had gone out on the ship, that it looked like it had lost power.
Twice.
And it also, one of the things about it was there was smoke. And so I remember them saying that. And then within 24 hours, they were talking about something about the fuel, dirty fuel. They thought it was dirty fuel. But of course, we have to wait for the NTSB to come back and say whatever. So.
But what happened is that the ship did turn at the end, and they think, oh, well, it was an anchor. Well, people that have experience on a ship, it takes it takes more time for the anchor to actually get the ship to turn, because the anchor has to sink down to the bottom and then grab onto something, and then it could actually have turned the ship maybe. But that was like if it was way before. Anyway. Either way, it seems like very aptly timed, and there's a lot of fishiness going on with this, especially the fact that this is such an important port that we don't have like protective barriers around this. Like that's a pretty big flaw in our infrastructure, that's for sure. And we did speaking of infrastructure, it is a thing in the news with the bridge and everything, but we did have an episode on infrastructure once before, and it's just there's a lot of stuff that we take for granted. And like I said earlier, there are privately owned bridges, privately owned roadways. And I don't know if we believe that's a good thing or bad thing, but we're seeing our publicly owned roadways like just not being upkept in a lot of states. It just depends on where they're dumping all the money, and it's sad because you might own like a nice car, but your roads are going to tear it up. Depending
Right.
if you're in Illinois, especially. Brian Williams, glass blowing in the house. What's up? I go over that bridge a couple times a month. He says, "Not anymore. You don't."
Yeah, not for a while.
It lost power 2 times, bro. Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
I saw
it did. That's what I saw too, because it shows where it loses power and then the power came back on and then it lost power again. So I don't know. Crazy.
Cleveland, Ohio. Adrian says, "All right,
See the thing about
Cleveland
the
rocks."
explosions on the bridge itself after, or just
You're inside a fishbowl, Wes. What'd you say?
I was watching this. I seen a video today, something about like some explosions and stuff, on where the bridge actually started collapsing. That there was explosions, but it just looked like little charges, just as the ship was impacting. But I was kind of thinking, it's like that there is a possibility, but then again, how many electrical cables are running through all that metal? So
Yeah.
I know that electricity and metal, they don't work very well when they're snapping. It can look like an explosion, but it was just kind of weird on some of the locations and like just how it looked, because I know as an electrical explosion tends to be very, very blue, and this was more of that orangish, yellowish kind of look.
It was also at night. The video was a little blurry.
Well, and
But
they
there's
said
just another
they were
possibility. I mean, it's not theory.
well, they said that they were carrying toxic materials too. So who knows? Like I saw some aerial footage of like the wreckage on top of the ship, and it's like the bridge fell on top of the ship. That the nose of the ship. I don't know how far
Brian says doctored videos.
and stuff. So
Right,
Sorry.
yeah, doctor videos can very be possible too.
Sorry, Kim. I didn't mean to stuff on you. Can't believe anything. Yeah, you can't trust a whole lot of much of anything, right, Brian? But it is interesting on the video that I've seen where like it's just this perfect time where there's no like all the cars stop driving over the bridge. Like who knows?
well, but the thing is that they were able to stop traffic over the bridge because there was a point where they had lost power, and I can't remember the sequence of it, but there was a point where they were able to communicate and say,
They sent a SOS or something.
yeah, that they were able to communicate and say we've lost power, so they stopped the traffic.
Right.
When I was watching it, because when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. I was like trying to look to see how many cars were on there, and how many of them went in the water.
Right. That's what. Yeah. But I would say the important thing is to not like it. It doesn't. It should not affect your day to day. Now, some of the folks in the audience say that they go over that bridge.
Oh yeah,
So it's going to actually affect them physically. But what I mean is thinking one way or the other on it. Even if you think it was something like China with a cyber attack, whatever. Even if that's what you think, like you can't just go and like there's nothing like you don't. There's nothing that you can go and like. You shouldn't let that affect your decision making process. Because we don't know for sure, right? So it's fine to speculate, but it's just like the thing is, it is fishy. Like Brian said, it's just fishy and it sucks because a lot of us are going to be affected by this.
Oh yeah,
I did read right. I read a little bit about it last night, and I guess farming is not as affected as it could have been. It's not as badly affected as some other things from that port specifically. So that's a good news. Thanks, Brenda. I got you.
And that is why it's important to grow your own food.
Say that again.
That's why it's important to grow your own food.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's kind of hard to grow your own food.
5 years, if Brian says, yeah, the whole East Coast, the whole country will hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, and I was like, And that's a shipping container ship. That's one of the. Have you ever seen how big those fucking cargo ships are? They're huge.
They're huge.
Humongous.
They're very heavy. Yeah.
Well, they're not just heavy;
What's
they're
up, Colin?
gigantic, and it's like they hold a lot
What's
of
up?
stuff on them. So it's like, if they've got those kind of ships moving in and out of that harbor or whatever it is, that area, like, that's a major shipping hub there, because big ships like that don't come to little podunk places,
Right. Did you guys know that you have to have a local? They pull on. I don't know how they do it. Like they ferry over a local ship captain, I guess, a local pilot, not a pilot. What do you call it?
That would be a pilot.
Yeah, well, a guy from that port that knows the waters and knows that area to pilot the boat in. So that was actually who was running the boat.
Like a guide, a tugboat guide.
Yeah, that person who was actually controlling the ship, driving. I guess, I don't know, piloting.
It's piloting.
Yeah.
Brian says he loves watching them come in, get stoned, and watch cargo ships. Yeah, because there's a lot of crazy undercurrents and stuff right there in the. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables, and if you're not familiar with coming into those, you can ground your ship and all kinds of stuff.
Remember when California had that issue with its port? I forget the details exactly, but there was a whole bunch of ships being backed up, and they ended up coming around, and I think Florida and Texas were taking a bunch of them.
I don't remember that. When was that?
You remember this one?
I remember the whole Walmart thing. Like Walmart was freaking out, and everyone, I remember.
Yeah, there was it was one of the major ports. I want to say L.A.
It was during COVID, pretty much. They just kept saying,
COVID. I don't think.
No, it wasn't pre-COVID. It was during COVID.
I think it was like a year ago, or maybe two, possibly.
Well, I know that during COVID they were having a hard time because they didn't have, what was it? They didn't have dock workers. I can't remember what the deal was. That was during COVID.
Yeah, that was another similar situation. I think there's actually the same situation, just another side of it.
I don't know.
There was videos of truckers at that port waiting for these ships that were actually parked just outside of the port that weren't coming in because there wasn't people to take them.
Yeah.
Even though there was people actually working and nothing was really going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that was during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was just right at the end of it.
I remember seeing like footage or pictures or whatever, like ships sitting out in the ocean waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that same exact. That's the same story that we're talking about.
Mm.
Just two different sides of it, I guess.
Yeah.
This says Long Beach port weathers the pull of Asian cargo to the U.S. East Coast. Okay, so that's January 10th this year. That's not what I was looking for. Okay, well, I thought it was something more recent than that from COVID. Anyway, it happened, and I'm just saying that we got around it. We other ports were able to take up some of it. Now that's going to put a lot of stress on other things and other roadways. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully we can make it work.
Well, it's not only going to just mess up like incoming stuff, it's going to mess up exports, things that our country is selling and shipping out wherever.
Yeah.
So it's going to, I don't know. But when I was sitting there watching that, I was like, that is a container ship and those things are huge. And I thought, if that's just one.
What's up, Robert?
I know they have a lot of shipping in that area. That's all that area up there is like major shipping. And I thought, after I was sitting there watching the horror of what happened, I was like, oh my God. And I realized it was a container ship. I was like, oh, that's going to fuck up shipping out of that port. And so there goes our economy, just like we need another problem with our economy. Because they have a bunch of ships, and then there were reports after that there's a lot of ships that are stuck in that port that can't get out now.
Oh yeah, didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yep, they're gonna have to, if they have any cargo,
Yeah.
all just be offloaded and taken somewhere else. Guys, if you want to get in on this giveaway, we're getting close to the 2-hour mark. We'll probably be doing the spin here soon. Just have to like and share the video. Make sure you share us and like us and share it out and share it out. Don't just share it to like your. Don't just share it to some to grandma's messenger thread that she never is able to see. Try to find maybe a cool group to share us in. Maybe your story or your main feed. But yeah, it's been a good conversation. I think I liked last week too. The cell phone talk. It's always fun. But that's the other thing, though, is our calls really aren't private property anymore either, because they can be subpoenaed and they can get your conversations. Your phone really isn't that private. Not many. We looked last week at the Freedom phone, which is supposed to have pretty much no malware, no tracking, which is all over the phones we have right now. So that was interesting, but I know these phones, the cameras can be turned on, without us knowing it, and just stuff that we just, creepy stuff, man, creepy stuff. Oh, what's up? Smoking, choking, and nerd roping. I sent 3 of those out. Kim's getting one out to Timothy, getting one out to Miss Michelle. Guys, I'm seeing a few new people coming through. Make sure you hit that like button and share us out. Get some giveaways. We got a Danky doozy coming from Margaret. We got the game night ticket as usual. Last week it went to a new member. She ended up signing up, so that gave her 2 spots on game night. There's a little bit of echo. Why is there an echo? Anyway, yeah, shouts out to Sandy. Sandy won the game night ticket, and she's not a member on Locals, and then she ended up signing up for the year, and that gave her 2 spots, and she ended up winning a couple things. So congrats. I can't say that I am too upset about taking a week off on game night. It'll give me some time to put some new mini games together, new picture phrases and stuff like that. And then we'll get it going for next week. But yeah, guys, I hope everybody has a good Easter too, and make sure everyone, remember family. Maybe they just don't get you, but they're still family. I'll go and see them. They don't get me, but I'll say hi and stuff like that. Last few days ago, this would have been Saturday, had my son's birthday party. That was fun. Those pictures are up on my profile. Went and saw, they got to see some of the Easter Bunny was at the mall there nearby, so that was fun. Thanks, Ronaldo. Yeah, just a like and share, brother. And what's that?
What did he think of the Easter Bunny?
He took pictures with them. He's gotten used to posing for pictures a little bit more now. He does.
How old is he now?
9.
Oh, he's older. It's always interesting. Little kids freak out with Santa Claus and stuff.
He reached over and grabbed his bunny beard. His little tuft of fur on his face.
Yeah.
And he does this thing where instead of peace sign, he does this.
A threes.
He doesn't do it like this. He's like,
how funny.
It's funny. Ronaldo, bro, just like and share us, and we'll get you on this wheel. We're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. You don't need to tag a bunch of people. I do appreciate it, brotherly love. I appreciate it. You know what? It was fun. Wes, thanks, man. Thanks again for hanging out. We for about an hour or so after the show on Monday. I spent untangling a knot of 10 of these, Kim.
What is that?
It's a yo-yo.
That's a yo-yo?
Not the kind of yo-yo you're thinking. It's just called a yo-yo. It's
They're like plant holders. They hold up the
plant
coat.
holder with these hooks.
Oh.
And
You use other things too.
they were just a ball. They were just a tangled ball. Pretty proud of myself after that.
Yeah, last December I decorated my classroom for Christmas, and I hung ornaments, little ball ornaments from the ceiling. And when I did them, I used fishing line. So I attached all the fishing line, and then they got all wound up and tangled up. And I tried untangling them, and finally I got frustrated, and I just cut all the fishing line and went and got some really thin wire and replaced it with wire. Because trying to untangle that was like frustrating.
Well, at first I wasn't going to get it either, but then I figured out a couple like easier methods, and it worked out. You reminded me though with the fishing line. When I was a kid, we were like 14, I think. We got a trampoline for Christmas. We were still jumping on that damn thing in the wintertime. Snow on the ground. I did a backflip off of the trampoline by accident, and luckily there was about a foot of snow on the ground. I landed on all fours in the snow. Otherwise, I probably would have been, I don't know, paraplegic. But anyway, whenever we had the springs would break on the trampoline, and that these big springs all the way around the trampoline would break because they would rip all the threads. And so then we would use like heavy ass fishing line doubled up, and my dad would make us with a needle, sewing needle. We would sew that back in, and we would replace it all the way around. And yeah, I mean, because that's way stronger than what it started out with.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Smashley. You didn't get in on the giveaway. If you want, do it real quick before we do the spin. Here, let's do this real quick so everybody's feels, if the weight feels a little heavier on the wheel. I think everyone has liked and shared, but be sure to tell him so he can't get you on. Oh yeah, thanks, Margaret. That makes sense. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, make sure that you liked, or make sure you let me know that you did or not, because I can't read minds, not yet, until the Neuralink is forced upon us. There is the whole theory though that Neuralink, like you're gonna end up, there's gonna be a point of I don't know what you call it, as the singularity. There's a point where so many people adopt a technology that you kind of have to adopt it yourself. And there are some holdouts with cell phones and stuff like that. But for the most part, everyone's kind of had to do that with cell phones. Now imagine that with the Neuralink implant, you know. Oh, hey, Jimmy. Jimmy Mead in the house.
Jimmy Mead. Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy, I found a package for you, and I forgot. I thought I had given it to you already, so I'm going to have to stop by sometime. Maybe we'll go to an event or something. If you got anything coming up, let me know. Yeah, I got a pack of beans for you and that bath bomb. I know you don't have a bath, but still do something with it. Done smashing it. Okay, I got you. Yeah, we're going to have a danky doozy from Margaret, plus the game night ticket, of course, and then also, well, I don't know, we didn't really get up to that 100, but I was going to do something else if we got up there. Rendra, what's up? I got you another time from coming in on the Rumble. I did not, Paul, because you did not say that you liked and shared. I just see thanks. And I see awesome. And I see hashtag. Anyway, I love you, brother. Maybe I missed something, but just if you could, trying to make everybody do it so that way. Let me just scroll back up a little bit, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Alan, I got you. Dolores, I got you. I think I got everybody else, and I'll get you, Paul. Paul's like, I can't say like and share. All I can say is smoking, choking, and nerd roping. I know I make myself laugh. It's a problem.
I'm always laughing at myself.
I was all by myself.
I am my best material.
So, well, okay, all right. Let's get this out of the way now, Paul. What do you think? Paul hasn't necessarily officially adopted this yet, but I'm going to pull up this logo that I made for Paul, just for funsies. You know, it was just something to have a logo for game night, and I just want to see what everybody's opinion is on the logo. If I can find out, here it is. It was real quick, like, keep that in mind. What's up, Corey? Corey, I don't think I got you on the list yet. If you want to like and share it out. I see you said me. Yeah, no. Jamie, yes. You don't have to tag many people because we're going to be doing this unless you want them to get in on the giveaway, I guess. Touche. But we're going to be spinning here real shortly. All right, so here it is. Oh wait, let me take the thing off the screen here. I find it. There it is. So what do you guys think?
It looks cool, but you can't read the bottom.
Smoking, choking, and nerd roping. That green background behind the and maybe, yeah, because he said something about that too. I could change that.
Nerd.
The word nerd.
Yeah.
I could just get a light, maybe get a light background, maybe a light glow behind both of them, because those are nerd ropes behind there.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I see that, but it's hard to see the bottom part.
All right, Corey, I got you.
And I can see the roping, but the nerd like really blends in with those colors.
Corey and is your name. Yeah, it is tough. It's a tough one. So, yeah, I guess I should get some glow behind there. Like a turquoise, you think?
I don't know. You'd have to play with it.
What's up, Christy? Christy, like and share out the video, and we'll get you on this wheel. We're about to spin it. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes here. It looks like we are slowly rising. Had 21 people pop in over on the X. Shouts out to X. I don't know if anybody actually stopped to watch us very long, so it doesn't really say that. It just tells me how many people have stopped through there. So, but slowly but surely moving up the ladder over on X. Let me see. I think I lost 2 followers last time I looked, but that happens a lot over there for some reason. People over on X, they follow you because they know you get a notification, and on that notification it says follow back. There's a button that you can click, follow back, right? And so they actually do that expecting you to follow back, and then they unfollow you a couple days later, because that way they've gained a follower and they don't have, and their follower list has not gone up, because evidently the algorithm promotes you more if you only follow about a third of the number of people that follow you. So if you ask me, it's kind of messed up, but it's a little bit messed up. But
why would they do that?
I don't know, because partly, well, there's one reason I do this when I look at other sites, like say Instagram. If you see somebody that is friend requesting you or whatever over there, and they follow double the amount of people that follow them, but yet they're trying to be they're trying to say that they're some kind of content creator or whatever it is. They are literally just trying to get follows. They're getting people to follow them back by following them. So they've gotten like a lot of people to take them up on that. But yeah, so the numbers are reversed, and it doesn't make sense for a creator or for someone who should be gaining followers. But over on X, that actually literally is part of the algorithm. Maybe it is that way everywhere, but to me, it's just a general thing that makes sense when I'm trying to look to see if somebody's legit or not. I'm going to share this into I'm an admin in a community over on X, the live streaming community. So it's a bunch of other live streamers.
Man, this little dog has BO. He needs a bath.
Don't talk about Wes like that.
No, it's this little
Hey,
dog.
now.
Dog sitting.
Sorry, I'm quiet. My wife's having issues. Somebody like hacked her phone or something. There's some whole messed up stuff, man.
Cheers, Ronaldo. I'm losing my mind today, Corey. Oh, that's okay. Ain't no follow back, y'all. I like it. All right. Yeah, I'll give it till 2 hours and 10 minutes. We're sitting at 2 hours and 8 minutes right 2 seconds right now.
Man.
So we got 2 minutes for anybody that's coming in to get on the wheel. I just shared it out to my live stream community on the X and said, come up and hang out on the screen. But yeah, we're only going to be, it's only going to be a few minutes. That's right. There might have a few of them pop through and say hello. It's deodorant you can get for dogs. Oh, wow. Dog deodorant, Corey? Goodness gracious.
He just needs a bath. He stinks.
And it smells so fresh. Yeah, well, the bath, yeah. My husky, I have some good, like an oatmeal shampoo that, man, she smells great afterwards. It's like so fluffy and just it's a lovely, lovely lady. Lovely, lovely gal. We got Sandy in the house. What's up, Sandy? Thanks, Nikki, for bringing in Mom to get in that last minute giveaway. You know, honestly, I got to start the game night ticket. Definitely should be for anybody. But I will say that these other giveaways, I got to start making those for locals members only, really. But tonight you will get a chance at the Denki Doozy cookie from Margaret with some icing in the middle. You put the icing and smush the cookie together and boom. Doing well, Christy. Doing well. If you'd like and share the video, we'll get you on this wheel. What's up, Gerald? Gerald coming in hot. If you like and share the video, get you up on the wheel. I appreciate all my locals members, even the ones even if you can just pop in to say hi, even if you're popping in just to come in for the giveaway, because you're already part of the community over there. You know what I mean? Like that's why I made it with the Hash and Dash community. That's why I made it such a cheap price, because basically it's a stand-in, or it's a replacement for being able to sit and watch the show for however long we're hanging out. Like, not everybody has that time, and so you might still want to support. And so there it is. Locals, theindoorfarmer.locals.com. That's how you get in the game night too. If you guys didn't know that out there, there's a few people in the audience that aren't members, but a lot of people that are hanging out. Gemini Kyle, what's up, bro? Gemini Kyle, we need to get maybe next week, hopefully do a glass blowing episode. Go ahead, Brian in here as well. I don't know, it may not. We may end up having an episode on glass blowing, and it may not work out that every one of our glass blowing friends can make it, but we'll see if we can do it. Hopefully next week would be great. Next Thursday, be a nice change of pace from some of the serious talk we had tonight, and I think glass blowing is a thing that a lot of us are interested in, but yet not as many of us know the ins and outs of it. So we're gonna talk about it and get into it. But yeah, it's been a good one, guys. So we already went past the time. So there we go. Anybody last minute? Anybody? Oh, loved and shared. All right, Gemini. I appreciate that, brother. Went above and beyond. Try to get in every show. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that. You only need me. Well, no, like I we would only need one per se, but I was hoping that we could get several that would pop through at least to give us some of their experience on the whole industry, and not just actually doing the physical work. But yeah, I know you're just kidding. Devin, all right, I'll get you right now. I may have missed a few in the chat. I'm a local member, but my dumbass forgot the password to my account. Oh no, Corey, that's not gonna be good. Well, there's got to be a way to fix that for you. Oh, I see you. I see that now, Devin. Okay, thanks. Appreciate that. Gerald, okay, I see yours too. I was like, wait, I know Gerald probably did, but cool. Remember, you get on the wheel additional times if you go over to YouTube and also X. Not YouTube, I'm sorry, forget YouTube. We are live on YouTube if you want to follow us on there, People in the Boxes on YouTube. But also, if you go to Rumble or X, which is formerly known as Twitter, you might think, I hate saying it, but got to say it to some people still. So over on X and over on Rumble, you get additional spot on the wheel. So it's worth it. Well, Paul, I appreciate that. I appreciate all the yeah. That's what it's all for. Like stopping through to say hi. I'm still trying to do that. I still try to do my show, at least for the first portion of the shows that I do. We try to stick to the topic. I try to have information and entertainment and everything sort of produced in a way that you can watch it 2 weeks from now and it still would be a good show. But then we always kind of digress into a little bit of an after show, like we've kind of like the last half hour hanging out. But yeah, I think that works. I think it's kind of a hybrid of shows. Not a lot of people are going to sit through go like 2 weeks from now. They're not going to sit through the entire episode, but you might sit through that, the heat of the meat of the topic or the big portion of the episode. So that's kind of my vision on how I do things. What's up, Ray? From YouTube. Cheers. Look at that. We got Ray from YouTube. Let's the good roll. I like this. Ronaldo from the 505. I like your dog, man. Lost yours years ago, Christy. Let me make sure. Kick, no, I'm not pushing Kick. I'm on Kick, but you can't. I don't love Kick yet. I'm not trying to push every. Am I on there, Jamie? I don't think so. Did you like us and share us out? Hit that like button. One more person could hit the like button. We get to 40. Would be great. Just let me know that you did. That's what I'm for. Okay. You're only here for the giveaway. Is that what you're telling me? I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Let me shuffle it a few times. Wes, did you want to get in on this, man? What's going on? Did you like us and share the video? Did you follow my page? Did you get in my group? Have you all joined my group? My group, Maccabees Live Market, presented by Waylon the Indoor Farmer. Join the group. I do like live sessions on there sometimes about midday every day. I'll do my morning sesh and hang out for about half hour or an hour for some shits and giggles on the group. We also share things in. Oh, you know what? I never did the at everyone on my group. That's sad. I should do it anyway, just because. No, never mind. It's sad that I forgot, but we're about to spin the wheel and get going, so never mind on that.
Tomorrow's Good Friday.
You carry my last brain pebbles, Christine. Tomorrow's Good Friday. That's the start of Lent, right? Or the end of Lent? I can't remember.
The end.
It's the end, okay.
It's the day that Jesus was nailed to the cross.
Oh, that's right. Easter, right? He comes, Easter's when he rides in on the Easter bunny's back, and they hand eggs out to everyone. I think, if I'm not mistaken, of the lore. If I remember right, it was like the Last Supper was just rabbit stew. Like they all had rabbit after Jesus rode in on the Easter bunny, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Right, Alice in Wonderland.
That's when they made chocolate bunnies. That's when they decided to make chocolate bunnies. They dipped, it was interesting.
All right, there, Alice in Wonderland.
And make sure everything's kosher on the spin time. Okay, here we go. All right, this first one's going to be for the game night ticket. If you are not a member on my locals community, you will get a chance to play in game night. And if you are a member and you were planning to play anyway, you get 2 spots on the wheel, on the game, I should say, in the teams. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Spin it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Paul. The caramel Cadbury eggs. Buck meow, buck meow. Roar. Oh, sorry,
I like that commercial.
The lion, the Cadbury cream lion is my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, who will it be? Who will it be? Got a few people on here multiple times, as they got me on a couple other sites. If you are a locals member, you will want to try to get your login and password squared away. Hint, hint, Corey. Because I got to use it to keep things on the up and up. Terry Bryler, he plays already, which means he's going to get double play. Won't be this weekend. We're going to use it. You'll get it next week, Terry. I'll give them both. We'll give one out next Thursday too, and both people will get one. But Terry probably is here, but he doesn't have to be because he has Hash and Dash immunity. What's up, Scott Burns? Cheers. But yeah, this is very good news. Thanks. Congrats, Terry. Let me write this down. I mean, as I get more sponsors and as we change sponsors, like having more chances to win on game night is always going to be fun, especially when you get to try something new and get something different. All right. Okay, so we're going to spin it again for a cookie from Margaret called a Danky Doozy, she calls it. A Danky Doozy. We're going to remove all instances of Terry. No offense, Terry. Just getting home from making a couple of pipes. Oh, that's cool. You do the glass blowing too, Scott? You should. Next Thursday, we're gonna get together some glass blowers for a People in the Boxes special episode about glass blowing, about the ancient technique, about the skill, about the industry, about the today's environment of glass blowing, I guess. Yeah, it should be a good one next week. So let's go. Let me we'll shuffle a couple more times. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate you too. You guys are, definitely some of my most solid supporters. Not always the most smooth when I'm in host mode, and sometimes I'm more down on myself than I need to be. I think we have a lot of fun on all 5 of my shows every week. I enjoy doing what I do. I learn something all the time, every time. I learn something, during the show a lot of times. I learn something from you guys, and I learn something from just the process of talking it out and hearing. And on this show specifically, I learn a lot of times just the perspective from other people and hear other people's opinions and perspectives, and it helps form mine. Shouts out to Rumble. We got 10 people hanging out around Rumble. Cheers, cheers. At least 10. I don't know if my thing is telling me the truth here. Let me look at the computer too. Ronaldo from the 505. Shouts out.
He's from the north end of my state.
He's from the 505. We've got 9 people. 4 likes on the Rumble. Come on, guys. Hit that Rumble and hit that like button if you can.
I just got another one for you.
Say again?
I was trying to get a Rumble earlier, but it wouldn't let me. And it just now let me.
Why?
I do not know, but I was trying to. You were not there. I even typed your name in, and it just nothing.
But why? My internet was down earlier too.
Yeah, I wonder if that has something to do with my wife being hacked and all this weird crap going on. But yeah, I've been having my phone's been glitchy, computer's been a little glitchy. Whatever. It's got to get high enough to not realize
I'm in New Mexico. I'm on the border. I'm like 35 minutes from the border of Texas.
35 minutes.
Yeah.
How far are you from the border of Mexico?
Probably about the same.
Because we got tucked down in the corner.
Jimmy says he thought you were in Texas.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm in New Mexico.
Oh, I see.
El Paso is like
Hello, Macy.
30 minutes or so away. I was in El Paso today seeing my surgeon.
Oh, all right. I'm going to do another dab and I guess get out of here, guys. If anybody wants to come up to smoke with us, you're welcome. I mean, you were welcome the whole time, but I hate saying it a bunch of times. It feels like I'm desperate. I do shows all week long by myself, but Thursday is like the day that I hope to get, a bunch of people's perspectives. And so I'm hoping to get more people that are semi-permanent co-hosts and involved in the show and interested in what we do here. So let us know out there, guys, if anyone's interested, because it's not a show about what Waylon thinks. It's a show about, perspective from everybody. Yeah, I give my opinion, but that's because I started the show. I'm the only one that's always here.
Your name's part of the show, man.
Yeah, I'm part of the show, but I also made it for all of us. Anybody that joins in and become a co-host, it's your show. You can use the material, you can stream it to your own, you know, places that be. But we gotta get some money. I gotta get some big Daddy Warbucks sponsor out there or something.
Good night, Adrian.
Good night, Adrian. Yeah, I mean, I kid, but I should go out there to look for some more actual monetary sponsors, because we could be getting some a little bit higher production value with a little bit of money, rather than just more items to give away.
Yeah, items don't always get you more money. Might get you more.
You're
people.
very echoey. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like not echo, but like fishbowl. Like I said, you probably have the phone sitting next to something that it's bouncing off of or something.
It's a possibility. I mean, I'm on my laptop, and I mean the wall's right behind me, and there's a bunch of glass.
You just need a better mic. We need to get you a mic. I got an extra mic here.
Microphone. Well, I tried using my wife's headset not that long ago, but it's too small for my little ass ears. So it just crushed the shit out of it, and it hurt, especially having with the piercings and stuff. I do enjoy pain, but I don't enjoy that kind.
Cheers, Gerald. Paul, yeah, next week I'm gonna shoot for the skies right now and hope that we can get some of our glass blowing friends to come up. Gemini Kyle, Brian Williams glass blowing. We know a lot of boys over there at the Level Up Incorporated. We've got the Quality Glass. Maybe I'll see if she'll come up, or the both of them might come up. We've got several friends, and anybody that I can't think of at the moment. Anybody that's a glass blower, we'll try to get some of them up, and even if they don't hang out for very long, if they want to just kind of give a little bit of their knowledge, because all of us work with glass, whether that's a rig like I'm working with now, or whether that's glassware in your kitchen, and so it's an ancient form, it's an ancient skill, and I think we can.
That's a pretty cool skill, honestly.
It's a cool skill to make the cool stuff, but it's also something that's so needed, because going from like wooden cups to glass was such a huge thing. And the fact that we take glass for granted, and the fact that we all went to like plastic, and now we're moving back to glass. Cheers, everyone! Cheers.
It's nice too that glass is more. I mean, plastic is natural, but it's refined. Where glass, you can actually create it out of nature. It's recyclable, literally. You can crush that thing back up, and it's sand.
Paul, you said you can't help me there. Well, I bet you've used glass before, right? You ever had a piece of glass break on you? You have a favorite piece. You have do you use glass for drinking out of? Like everybody would have something.
Light bulb?
Speak on that, I believe.
Fishman? Eyeball?
Plus, getting a glass blower up on the screen to show us some cool work, that would be fun.
Mason jar.
Yeah, we could also look up the page that I interviewed this guy who runs a page on Facebook called Glass Porn.
Glass porn?
Yeah.
Is that like web porn?
It's a lot of cool sculptures and artwork and different smoking devices, but they use things to make it art and not a smoke device.
My sister used to work at the Owens glass plant in Streeter.
So it's more machined glass.
I don't know. I went there one time. I did a tour. I went to visit my sister, and I went on a tour, and they have these huge furnaces. I don't know how they do it. I guess they pour the glass, whatever the silica, into molds or something. I don't know exactly how they do it. Because they used to, I'd imagine they used to manufacture those mason jars and stuff like that.
Well, right, yeah. Put them at the end of the pipe and dip their glass in and blow into it, and
Well, yeah, that's blowing it, but we're talking mass producing, mass,
Mass production. Yeah.
that's
all
all
computerized machines
that's all
doing
poured
that.
glass.
More assembly line type.
Yeah.
But it was all still done. I mean, it's just, I mean, you think of the old traditional way, they just kind of expedited it a little bit. I mean, it really didn't change a whole lot. We just added our 2 cents into it, basically, in the modern times.
Gemini, I like your first statement. I love blowing love. I blow my love as anywhere that I can. Yeah, all about all the above, but I can't blow shit. Paul, that's okay. Yeah, you don't have to be a glass blower to come up with that one. I think we'll all have stories that we can talk about and different experiences with it, especially like a different glass piece. Like for me, I have like a couple of broken bongs still around the house that I need to get rid of, but just like big chunks of glass, you know.
You still
So,
broken pieces too?
yeah, I'm actually thinking about burying them deep underground.
Yeah, I've thought kind of the same thing. I've been carrying probably a broken piece for the last 15 years just because it's just it was one of my first pipes. And I'm just like, I don't want to get rid of this thing. I love looking
Yeah, I
at
don't
it.
have any nostalgic value. I just feel like it's a rock. It's a rock, so I could just bury it down
Make
underground.
it part, return it where it came from.
Yeah, it's rock.
Just like the here you go fishes.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway, guys, it's been fun. Let me get the outro and make sure you, if you haven't already, for the giveaway, please hit that like button. Share us with your friends. Any glass blowers in the audience? You got Kyle and Brian was here earlier. If you guys can schedule that, if we can make that a thing next week, solid would be great. I like to try to plan ahead of time. We usually like are at the last minute going, well, what should we talk about? So I can't get no help from any of my other friends. Well, maybe sometimes, but I think if we can think about it ahead of time, it'll be helpful. So, yep. Anyway, have a great Easter, everyone. Remember, sustainability is not just about plants. It's about us being able to have these hard conversations, right? And that means, things like sustainability is the cornerstone to civilization, and every single person on the planet has to eat. So we all have to be good to one another too, right? So good night, everybody. Kim from the Legit Bean Recruiter Master and Wes from the, what's your new page's name? I can't read it now.
Green Ward Garden.
Green Ward Garden. Yeah, Green Ward Gardens. No name. Saying I need to fix that outro. I'll do that this weekend, I think. Good night, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.